Hey, what is going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to do a head-to-head comparison of EZFN Season 4 versus Season 7 and help you decide which one might be right for you. Now, of course, if you can have both installed at the same time, by all means, go right ahead. They're both different and fun, but maybe you have really slow internet, or maybe you don't have enough storage, and you can't have both at the same time. So in today's video, I'll help you decide which one might be right for you. I'll play some Season 4 gameplay for the first half of the video, and then we'll switch over to Season 7 for the second half so you can see a bit of both. We're going to cover 5 major differences today, which is the supported platforms / storage required, game modes / servers available, cosmetic items that are available, the overall difficulty in terms of the average skill level of other players, the weapon metas, and then we'll conclude and kind of summarize the overall differences and maybe give you some sample players of if you like this part of the game, maybe you like this season. Okay, let's start out with the supported platforms / size. So Season 4 currently supports PC, iOS, as well as PS4, and Season 7 has those platforms as well as Android and Switch. Pretty much this just basically means if you're on a platform that supports both, great, but if you're on a platform that only has Season 7, well, the conversation's over, you need to play Season 7. Another thing to keep in mind is that Season 7 is a bit larger. So for PC, last I checked, Season 4 is around the 25 to 30 gig range. Season 7 is around 40, so keep that in mind. If you only have 35 gigs of space, for instance, you can't play Season 7, you'll have to go Season 4. Mobile, it's nowhere near as big, but there is still a discrepancy. I am 95% sure Season 7 is larger, but I haven't tested mobile, so I don't know by how much, but it is larger. Let's move on to the game modes / servers. Season 4 only has EU servers, and you have 2 game modes available at the moment, Solos and Infinity Gauntlet. Is it possible that could change in the future? Sure, but that's what's available right now. Season 7, you have EU servers and NA, and you have solo, duo, and usually a weekly LTM. This could be a mode like Solid Gold, Team Rumble, or anything like that. Generally, Season 7 is going to have more modes on average. If you really want to play Infinity Gauntlet, you obviously need to play Season 4, but generally, if you'd like to play a wide variety of modes, Season 7 will be a better choice for you as you can play duos and the LTMs as well. Okay, let's move on to the cosmetic items available. So both projects you get near full locker. There are a couple edge cases where that's not the case. If I recall correctly, certain skins you have to play on specific platforms, and there was like a certain skin you got when you played in October of last year, but the vast majority of things are available on both. But keep in mind that in Season 4, you could only use items that were available at that time. So if you want to use Ice King, for example, you have to play Season 7. Ice King is not available in Season 4. So if you have a specific item you want to use, if it was released after version 4.2 but 7.40 or earlier, you can use it in Season 7. If you want to use something in Season 4, it must be released in version 4.2 or earlier, otherwise it's not going to exist. Let's move on to the average difficulty of the two projects. Overall, I'd say Season 7 is significantly more difficult than Season 4, but against other projects, it's still on the easier side. You know, something to keep in mind is that Season 7, people overall have less ping because there's 2 servers instead of 1. Building is much faster. The game is much more responsive. Even when you play at, 100 ping on Season 4 versus 100 ping on Season 7, you can still build significantly faster on Season 7. You can do faster editing. Things like triple edits, totally doable on Season 7. Season 4, very difficult to pull that off. In addition, the overall weapon meta promotes it to be more difficult. Double pumps, for instance, which we'll get to in the weapon meta, exists in both, but because it cycles so much faster in Season 7, the time to eliminate someone is ridiculously quick in Season 7, so you just overall die much faster. And because that's slower building, you'll notice things in Season 4, like OG tactics, like base building, does work in Season 4 quite well. In Season 7, it just doesn't work that well. What also really contributes to this is that as seasons go on, more and more modern features get added in, such as controller custom binds and things like that. So things are also slower in Season 4 because, like our controller, for instance, you don't have custom binds, you have to hold to edit. Things like that just slow down the pace of the game. Something to also keep in mind is that there's an L2 cooldown in Season 7, making controller overall less effective. Doesn't mean controller is unusable in Season 7, but it is harder to use it effectively. Finally, let's move to the weapon meta. Generally, if you look at the close range meta, so that's really shotguns and SMGs, the Season 4 close range meta is incredibly diverse, no matter what combo you like. Double pump, pump tac, pump SMG, heavy tac, it doesn't matter. You can pretty much run most combos, like up to a dozen of them, and be competitive, which is great. Season 7, it's much more limiting. Really, if you're 100 ping or less, you really need to run double pump, unless you're really, really good at this game, or you're brand new and don't know the timing for double pump. Double pump is so unbelievably fast, it's pretty much mandatory. Obviously in situations where you have like 150 ping, like when I play Season 7 EU, double pump really isn't usable at that ping. But generally, double pump is incredibly busted in Season 7, particularly double spaz. It's honestly, arguably the most busted thing that ever exists in this game. In terms of the AR meta, you could argue Season 7 is a little bit more open, though, because you have things like the heavy AR and silenced AR, which are viable options, which you don't have in Season 4. You also have snipers, like, the heavy sniper, you don't have that in Season 4. And you also have the minigun is better in Season 7, I'd argue, because it winds up faster, even though you can't fire indefinitely. So overall, I'd say Season 4 is a more diverse weapon meta. Not that Season 7 has no options, but the close range meta is very limiting. In terms of the mobility, Season 4 I'd easily define as a low mobility meta. The only mobility you really have in Season 4 is hop rocks, impulse grenades, and launch pads as well. There's really not much to get around. You're very slow and you're going to be walking most of the time. But Season 7, you have ATKs, quad crashers, shopping carts, planes, shockwave nades, rift-to-goes. There's just an unbelievable number of ways to move. In Season 7, I'd easily class it as a high mobility meta. One or the other is not necessarily better. Season 4 is going to play much more slow-paced, while Season 7 is going to be a fast-paced game. So, you can go either way. You just have to decide for yourself which one is more fun to you. Okay, let's now move into the conclusion. What we can sum this up as is the first thing you need to check is supported platform and size. If you do not have supported platform for Season 4, or you don't have the storage space for Season 7, well, there you go. Conversation's over. Then from there, it's really more debatable on which one you take, right? Yes, Season 7 may have NA servers, but you might find more success playing Season 4 on EU than Season 7 on NA, depending on the way you like to play. You need to ask yourself, what type of gameplay sounds more appealing to me? Slow-paced, old-school, base-building type gameplay, or more modern, faster-paced, mechanically-based gameplay? Like, for instance, if you have really good mechanics, you like doing triple edits, you know how to do complex high ground retakes, you enjoy that part of the game, Season 7 is probably a better choice for you. If you really like to play duos, Season 7 is probably a better choice for you. If you have a specific cosmetic item that's only in Season 7, go for Season 7, right? If you really like weekly LTMs, Season 7 is probably better. On the other hand, though, if you want to play a slower paced game, you like base building, being more strategic, Season 4 is a better choice for you. Season 4 takes a little less storage, right? If you really like the Infinity Gauntlet game mode, well, then play Season 4, right? There's not really one that's better or worse. You just decide which of those aspects are most important to me, and then pick the season based on that. So, I hope this video was helpful. If you have more questions about it, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next one.